What's going on there, guys? We back with another one, and this old interview with Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes, interviewing Draymond Green about Chris Paul and Steph Curry's relationship has gone viral since Chris Paul is now traded to the Golden State Warriors. And what Draymond was saying was that they are frenemies in a way, and he's saying that Steph didn't really possess that street element to understand or navigate when someone is playing him close to kind of take his heart out, in competition, like, so to speak, right? Not in real life, but just from a competitive standpoint, he's saying Steph ain't wired or hasn't been around the street element to pick up on subtle things like that. And, we got Chris Paul's reaction to going there, and we've seen Steph and Chris get into it on the court, and Steph tell him, look, this ain't 2014 no more. What he basically saying there is, I'm stronger now, so you can't do some of the same things you used to do to me when I was a younger guard in this league. And I think the pairing is good, just especially if Chris Paul's going to be in that second unit. I think some of the younger guys will get some easier shots, and they'll run more of a conventional offense off of the bench. But yeah, we're going to get into these commentaries and what Chris Paul had to say, and then I'll be back with more.
I don't like CP at all. Like, we don't have a good relationship at all, but I respect his hustle and I respect his IQ. He's smart as hell. And
smart.
And CP was kind of using, like, CP saw Steph coming up. And, once you start to get older in this league, you start to realize, like, okay, this guy is coming. Eventually, he may catch me because I'm going to start to decline at some point. And so I would kind of see CP kind of keeping Steph at bay, but yet fucking giving him a stiff arm at the same time. Now, Steph, Steph ain't, Steph is Steph. Like, we all love Steph, right? He ain't cut like, he ain't got the street part to him. And so
he ain't confrontational at all. He ain't confrontational.
Exactly. And so with me coming from where I come from and the way I grew up, I'm kind of watching like, yo, he kind of rock with you, Steph, but he kind of don't. He kind of keeping you at bay. And so I took it upon myself to try to create fucking division there.
We see the news that you're going to Golden State. How'd you find out?
My son again.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. I was at my gym right here, here in Winston, playing pickup, hooping. And after the game got over at 1, little Chris came up to me and told me. Yeah. I'm excited. Yeah.
What was your reaction?
Oh man, I was excited. To get a chance to go play for a franchise like that with the great players that they have. It's crazy how life comes full circle. For the last 10 years, I've been competing, maybe longer than that against them. But I'm all about winning. So whatever's gonna give me an opportunity to win, I'm all for it.
That's interesting about the being full circle when you put it that way, right?
Yeah.
I hadn't considered that. You're exactly right.
Yeah, absolutely.
What does that make you think about?
Just everything. Like, I'm excited. I'm grateful. Like I said, to get an opportunity to play with, that core group of players in Steph, Clay, Draymond, Looney, Wig, all them. Play for Steve.
Yes, Steve Kerr. That's an amazing coach.
It's great. I mean, just happened. So I'm still processing it all. Yep. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to get on the phone and talk to.
You first process. How do you think that you fit into that system?
I mean, for me, I didn't play, on a few different teams now in different situations and systems or whatnot. So, I don't know. What I do know is that when you play with really good players, you figure it out. And I think we'll do.
Chris, what is your reaction to being traded to Golden State today?
I'm excited. I done got that question I don't know how many times already, so I'm really excited.
You spoke with Steph, it sounds like, already, and how did that go?
It was good, yeah.
What do you think your role will be on that team?
To help us win games.
So I kind of see what Draymond is saying. Some might argue he's too friendly with LeBron. Like, you shouldn't rock with someone so openly in competition. So what Chris Paul is doing is, yeah, he like him and Steph, they like each other as people, but in competition, he wants to win and he wants to keep the relationship to a point where in competition, he's with his guys. He doesn't want to be like how LeBron ran to him when he was getting into it with Rondo. You know what I'm saying? Chris Paul likes to build that wall around his teams, and that's why he's been able to take teams like, you know, the OKC Thunder when they were really young, some of these other teams, and lead them at least to playoff berths. Like, don't forget, when he got to Phoenix, that's when they established a winning culture. Devin Booker was a scorer. Yeah, he had 71 points and all that stuff, but we didn't see them as winners before CP3 came. So that's one of the traits. And with him being like 6 foot and everything, he always had to come into the game with a certain focus. Now, the North Carolina thing, Chris Paul from Winston, Steph from Charlotte, they got love for each other, right? They definitely got love for each other. And that's why the trash talk, sometimes that makes it more competitive. You think about it, right? Now, they didn't play high school in North Carolina in the same eras. You know, Chris Paul's class of 2003, Steph, what was he, 2000, class of 2005 or 2006? 2006. Trying to think, when did he go to Davidson? He was like class of 2006, 2007, something like that. So it was like right after CP3's era of high school basketball in North Carolina. You know, Steph came along, but he wasn't the recruit that Chris was. Again, Steph hit a growth spurt and everything and shot up to about 6'3.5", 6'4" really fast once he got to college. And it was a wrap from there with all the skills he had. But I just say that to say, you know, the king of North Carolina and all that. You even see with Brandon Ingram and Chris Paul, you know, where Ingram swung on Chris Paul. It's not all love all the time just because you're from the same state. You know, that makes it more competitive. Like, you see these players, you strive to be on their level, and then so when you meet them in person, it isn't this overly reverence thing. Like, yeah, I appreciate what you did for the game, but I'm coming to be the best. That's just the mentality of the North Carolina athletes. Don't mean they don't love each other off the floor. And Steph, like, I know he's happy to have Chris there, that leadership. But the thing I'll be looking forward to, because I know Draymond said he don't like Chris Paul at all, I'll be looking forward to this. Draymond has a very demonstrative, loud leadership style. Chris Paul is going to do something that you don't see Steph and Klay do as much. He's going to get right back in Draymond's face and challenge him with his voice. And that's going to be an interesting dynamic there, because they've allowed Draymond to sit around and do that for years on end. Chris Paul's not going to, like, Chris Paul will let you do it, but Chris Paul's going to have his part to say too sometimes. And if Draymond needs to be called out, or if he's being too friendly to LeBron, I wouldn't put it past Chris Paul to call him out in the heat of battle. So I think that could be good for the team too, because sometimes, like, you can have a voice in the locker room, but that's one of my problems with Golden State. Your voice isn't your best player, and it rarely is, like, in a demonstrative fashion. You rarely see Steph being the voice. And I ain't saying you can't have vocal leaders that's not your best player, but sometimes the best player has to undercut the guy that's just talking. You know what I'm saying? And say, no, we doing it like this, and this needs to happen. And you rarely see that happen to Draymond. So I think the addition of Chris Paul, someone who could do that, might be a positive addition for them. But I want to know what you guys think about these comments. Do you think it'll be trouble in the future with Draymond not liking Chris, or you think this thing gonna go smooth? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.